I think it's time to transition into a family man and be that guy for your girl Taylor. Yo, it's your wife, yo. Taylor Kelce.
That's your wife. That's crazy. They've been dating for a month.
We thought the LeBron stats are bad. Now we got the Taylor Swift stats. Like, what are we doing here?
Nah, but something is not right about the fact that Travis Kelce plays 2 times better when she's at the game versus not.
Man, something's not right about the whole situation. But Taylor Swift is now a billionaire officially.
Woo! Big bag. Shout out to T Swift.
Yeah, Bloomberg reports that she's worth now $1.1 billion thanks to a record-breaking Eras tour that helped boost the U.S. economy this summer. You know, so we talked about
her a lot of credit.
I mean, she did. I mean, we saw the impact in traffic she had here in Jersey and Philly. Like
traffic, how they had Congress talking about the ticket prices for resale and shit like that. Yeah, of course,
made waves. So you talked about her almost being a billionaire. Now it's a fact that she is a billionaire. It's funny because I saw this news. And then shortly thereafter, I know you watch or listen to the Kelce Brothers podcast, even way before this Taylor Swift shit was happening.
Yeah.
And they pulled a clip when he had Mama Kelce, who you shouted out earlier today. They had her on, and Travis was saying, like, I need to find a breeder. I need to make grandkids so you'll love me. And she laughed and like, oh, I'll always love you. But he said he wanted to find a breeder.
A breeder? That's wild to say on a podcast, but I feel you.
Bro, you said she was almost a billionaire, and I said, he needs to shoot for them ovaries. Do you think that it's a coincidence that he mentioned finding a breeder, then months later he makes a friendship bracelet for Taylor Swift, and then now he got her in the press box, man? Do you think that he found his breeder? Do you think he is shooting for them ovaries?
Listen, I think that Travis Kelce is a smart guy. He's been on the dating market, and he's been unsuccessful in finding somebody in the minority community. Let's put it that way.
Don't put that on the minorities.
No, I'm not putting it on us. I'm just saying he hasn't found who he wants in the minority community. So now he's like, you know what? Let me shoot for the stars and land on the clouds. And he shot for Taylor Swift, who at the time, I think when we first spoke about her, she was worth like $800 million. And now in the span of essentially a month, she's worth $1 billion. I know she had like her album that she re-recorded and it sold like a shit ton of copies and stuff like that. But I'm guessing that's what kind of pushed her over the edge, along with her other things that she's doing, commercials and her exposure with the NFL. Like I'm sure there's a variety of reasons of how she got there.
It's also her movie. They put the Eras tour out in theaters a couple weeks ago. That shit hit $100 million in box office.
That's crazy.
In a weekend. We haven't seen that in a blockbuster. I mean, we did, I think, for a couple of movies, but since COVID, for real movies, it's been really rare. So for her to do that with a concert is insane.
Dude, they're saying that her re-recorded album, 1989, has sold over 1 million albums in a week, and it's the 6th time that she sold at least 1 million copies of an album in a single week. Those are crazy numbers.
Yeah, that's insane. Like
1 million?
Yeah, that's insane. So, shout out to Travis Kelce. Get in the bag.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Do you think he locks us down? Do you think that he's able? Because to sustain this, because I feel like he's been dealing with a lot. I feel like he's doing a little bit too much. I mean, we all know that they expanded the NFL season to 17 games. And for him to be running around with Taylor Swift, going out to eat, buying new houses, dealing with all this extra shit, I feel like it's going to be hard to manage all that. We know he won the Super Bowl twice, but do you think he's going to be able to manage this and lock it down?
Listen, I think
he does a podcast. That's a lot.
I think, anything that you want to do, you can do. And for that kind of bag, he is going to do it. Will it? It's kind of like back when I was playing in church, and if you had to sing and play and direct the choir and like take cues from the pastor and stuff all at the same time, something had to give. Now, I have to believe that the same is going to be true with this man in his regular life. Like you said, he's got the podcast, he's got games every single week, he's got Taylor, he's got his endorsements and all of the commercials that he's been doing. Like, there's a lot of things going on. But one of those things is worth $1 billion. And if I had to prioritize, I'm going to prioritize the thing worth $1 billion. I'm just saying. You asked two different questions, though.
Yeah.
You said, is he going to be able to sustain this? And then you said, is he going to lock this down?
Yes.
If he's smart, there will be a baby coming after they make it to the Super Bowl and lose to the Eagles again this year. If he's smart. That's a 6-month window. It's like, oh my God, off season. I forgot to pull out. Like, I was upset. I was depressed. I left it in. Like, I don't know. But I'm not promoting that. Make sure you have consent, everybody. But yeah.
I mean, listen, I think that's really far-fetched of you to think the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl this year. Get the fuck out of here, man. Stop trying to put your fantasies into this.
Please explain to me how it's far-fetched when we have the best record in the NFL. Yet again.
What happened last time you played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl?
All right, that was last time. But we made it to the Super Bowl.
Which
I'm
Kelce
saying
brother
we're going
won?
again, and
Which
we're going to
one?
win this year.
Okay. You know what? I think you're right. $1 billion. He was looking for a breeder. Just make it happen, man. He just turned, what, 34? 33?
33, something like that.
Yeah. I think they're about the same age.
Yeah, I think he's like a year older than her, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Lock it down, man. Lock it down. Stick to the plan. I mean, you already won your Super Bowls. You have your podcast. You could do your podcast with your brother forever. You know, him and his brother are probably going to retire in the next 5 years anyway. They've both been in the NFL for a long time. Transition. I think it's time to transition into a family man and be that guy for your girl, Taylor. It's your wife, Taylor Kelce.
That's your wife. That's crazy. They've been dating for a month. No, but in reality, I hope that they take their time and that it does work out, whether it's together or if they move on after this. But, you got to secure the bag.
Yeah.
You
have to, man. Secure the bag, Also, speaking of athletes and billionaire status, man, Magic Johnson, he was also confirmed as a billionaire now.
Let's go, Magic.
Forbes magazine said Magic Johnson becomes the fourth athlete to earn billionaire status. He joins Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Tiger Woods as the fourth athlete to earn billionaire status. Forbes estimates Johnson's net worth to be $1.2 billion as a result of his stakes in teams and investments in a variety of industries. Magic Johnson, he was, famous in the 80s and 90s. He's always kept the spotlight on him. He didn't get paid a lot in his NBA career, but he was able to make the most of his time in Los Angeles and build relationships and build a lucrative career after playing basketball, man. So I'm happy to hear this. I was a little bit shocked to hear that, there's only 4 athletes who reached this status, because when I think maybe worldwide, it's hard to believe that Ronaldo's not a billionaire. But this is only on record of, I guess, people in the United States.
Okay.
I guess, when you see those names, it's only people in the U.S. But yeah, man, it's an elite club. Do you think we're going to see a lot more billionaire athletes in the next decade? Because we talk about the NBA players like Steph Curry, who they signed these big, lucrative $300 million Supermax deals, and we know that they also have their big sneaker deals. Do you think that this is the beginning of a big wave of billionaire athletes?
I think it could be. I mean, I do think there's a big difference between some of the names that you mentioned and, for example, like a Ronaldo, a Messi. First, they got offered some Saudi contracts that they didn't take.
Well, Ronaldo took that.
Yeah, he did, but yeah, maybe it takes time for the money to come in. I don't know.
Maybe
But
they don't count Saudi money. I don't know.
yeah, that's a good point. Maybe they don't. But with Magic Johnson, this is somebody who, after having to leave the league due to having HIV/AIDS, he went about really just from a businessman standpoint putting on a clinic. He owns this company called Equitrust. It's an insurance company, and that company, its assets have gone from 16 billion to 26 billion since he took control 10 years ago.
Wow.
And then, like you mentioned, he owns stakes in the Washington Commanders, the LA Sparks, and the LA Dodgers.
Damn.
And he previously owned a stake in the Lakers before he sold it off. So, like, he's been doing a lot. It's really cool to see this. I'm really happy for him. And there's probably other players that are going to get the same kind of achievement and accomplishment from a monetary standpoint. I wouldn't be surprised if Steph is in that category.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to joining lists with Magic Johnson and having things in common with him, this is the one thing I want to be on the list with him.
Well, there's from a basketball player standpoint, there may be 2 or 3 other lists, but after that, no.
I'm just saying, when you said Magic Johnson and Clinic together, I was thinking,
man.
I don't know.
The jokes just started. The light bulb just came on like joke.
I'm sure he spent a lot of time at the clinic, so he's got some lessons. But yeah, shout out to Magic Johnson.
Yeah,
definitely. A Billy, man. He also said he's not interested in buying any NBA franchise except for the New York Knicks, which, I mean, I don't blame him. Someone needs to buy that shit. James Dolan, go focus on your sphere and give the Knicks to someone who actually gives a damn. But hey, I would never say anything bad about Mr. Dolan. I love your music. Give me some season tickets.
Oh my gosh. Went from somebody needs to save the Knicks to I would never say anything bad. The problem is, like, he owns everything MSG.
I know.
So it's like,
yeah,
somebody would have to buy all that shit, and that's a crazy bag.
Yeah, it is crazy. Hopefully this fear takes off, becomes something worldwide, and he's like, all right, I'll sell the Knicks, but we'll see. Subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Spotify, follow on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok,
all the apps. We're everywhere. We are everywhere.